for years growing up, I never had a visible jawline. Now look at me. It's alright, innit? It's not bad. I used to think so much, subconsciously, about my double chin. The way that if I sat naturally when I was at school, if I was like this, and if, it was that obvious that I had a double chin. And I was always dead self-conscious about my weight, no matter what. I have some horror stories from childhood where I just got relentlessly in my own head about my weight, and some of it was bullying, some of it was just self-deprecation throughout high school. There was one time when I recently purchased Battlefield 1 when that came out on PlayStation, and on my older YouTube channel at the time, I would just live stream Battlefield 1 to my friends and whoever might stop by. And one day, a couple of guys from my high school, a couple of people in my year group, found my YouTube channel, found my live stream, and this is back when the default PlayStation live stream overlay had like the text chat visible on screen in the bottom corner, like that. And they basically just, and I figured out who they were later, but on an anonymous account were just calling me fat relentlessly on this live stream, to the point where I just stopped streaming and never started again. Well, that sounded bad, didn't it? Bloody hell. And yeah, that was one of many incidents. I don't know why it took me so long to actually do something about my weight, because I don't know, I was like kind of comfortable amongst my friends. My friends, I was respected. I didn't get bullied horrifically. There were just a few incidents like that. It wasn't constant bullying, but it was subconsciously eating away at me for a long, long time. And there came a breaking point towards the end of high school where I was just like, no, I'm making a change now. There's always the subconscious, like, I don't know. Odd. Could have sworn I heard somebody knocking at my door. That was always the subconscious thought that, oh yeah, you're just young, you're just short, you'll grow up, the weight will fall off. But no, it took a bit more effort than just waiting for the weight to fall off. It took quite a lot more effort, actually. And I just started to look at my nutrition. I started to exercise. That was it. I always was so active as a kid. I did so much after school, extracurricular stuff. I played volleyball, football, cricket, did climbing, did swimming, all at various points. Like, I was a very active kid. I just overate. That was the thing. I just ate way too much food. And yeah, when I became aware of what calories were, learned how to count calories, I started training with my dad, actually. We started going to the gym together, and we got advice from a personal trainer for a while, going into lockdown, when I could really dial in what I was eating and track everything I was eating. There was no variables, it was just the same every day. And over lockdown was really when my life started to change with my weight. So I'd always been a chubby kid, and I finally started to see the numbers on the scales going down, and I was riding my bike every single day. That was a big factor. Living in the middle of nowhere in the countryside, could just ride my bike every day during lockdown, and it didn't feel like exercise. It was just great. It was fantastic. There was days where I wouldn't train, I wouldn't have any bad food either. I could never go a day in the bad fast without having a sweet treat. And I managed to curb cravings and do well, and by the time lockdown came to an end and it was time for me to start college, well, I had my first taste of real freedom. I wasn't having packed lunches anymore. I wasn't limited to the school canteen. On my college breaks, I could walk into town, I could go to McDonald's if I wanted to, I could go to Boots, get a meal deal, I could go to Sainsbury's. Oh goodness me, the Sainsbury's bakery. Flippin' heck. Why do I even start with the Sainsbury's bakery? We've had many close encounters, to put it lightly. And that's when I started going back to my old habits. And it really took a long time, because I got into a relationship, I got comfortable. It took a long time for me to take a look in the mirror and realise that I had undone everything I'd worked so hard towards, purely out of neglect for my health. And I put on more weight than I ever had, and I peaked at 105 kilograms. And for context, I'm 6'2", so quite a big frame. Yeah, 105 kilograms. So I just come off of holiday, an all-inclusive holiday, where I ate the most amount of food I've ever eaten, and I was severely not happy. I would not say depressed, but I was just not happy. I had no self-confidence, that's the best way to put it. My self-confidence was at an all-time zero, and I was still with the person I was with at the time, and they were very understanding. They never judged me for my body, but I just was not happy. And soon after, that relationship came to an end, due to a distance thing, starting university at this point. And I was like, I could either let this consume me, or I could take a hold of it. And starting university was really that turning point for me, because I could have just submitted to the uni lifestyle. I'd never been much for alcohol. I didn't even turn 18 until like a month before I left for uni, and then alcohol is a whole world of surplus calories that is a dangerous game to play. And I'm so glad I did it. My friends that I made through uni called it monk mode, where I would refuse to get takeaways with them, with my flatmates. I wouldn't drink anything other than vodka and squash. That was my only drink. Like, whether we were doing it, wouldn't stop me from going out, but I would just drink the lowest calorie alcohol possible. And I would go to the gym, the campus gym, that was a 2-minute walk from my accommodation. And eventually I dropped the weight. And I'd been in a routine throughout the 3 years at university of cooking for myself, just being completely in control. And I finally found the balance. Once I dropped the weight, I realised it was to be able to eat at maintenance calories. Wow, it was a privilege after being in a deficit for so long. I realised I can just actually eat what I enjoy and not have to worry about it. So now I'm feeling more confident with my appearance than I ever have. And I wasn't even going to record a video today, but for some reason at some like 3 AM, it wasn't quite 3 AM, but as I was drifting off to sleep, I think I was watching one of my favourite ASMR artists, Hi-Fi ASMR. I think about 30,000 subscribers, but I was watching him, and he called one of his videos something along the lines of like ASMR weight loss motivation. And this guy, he's so funny because he just titles his videos the most random things you can imagine, and half the time what the title is doesn't even correlate to what the video is about. And the video wasn't really about weight loss motivation. It was more about him getting into the gym, and he was doing triggers and talking about random stuff, and he just touched on the gym a little bit. And I thought, what if I just made a video myself about weight loss and my journey? Because I was his video would be maybe him talking about his experience with his self-confidence and his weight loss, yada yada yada. So I've had that idea on the back burner for ages. I didn't even think I'd have time to record a video today, but I sat down at my desk. It's 10:15 and I want to be in bed by 10:30 at the latest. So I better hurry up. But yeah, I sat down and I literally opened OBS. I was like, what video am I going to film? And I caught a glance at my jawline and I was like, it just straight away brought back memories of when I used to have a double chin that was like a permanent double chin. It wouldn't go away. And now I can barely even force a double chin, which is mad. But I feel like you can take the fat out of the kid, but you can't take the fat kid out of the kid, if that makes sense. I've always, still have habits like the shirt pull. Everybody knows about the shirt pull. If you've been there yourself, like when you maybe sat down or even stood up and your shirt might get a little bit too clingy, maybe the wind's hit you or you've stood up and you need to fix your shirt because it's clinging to your rolls of fat, your man boobs, whatever, and you don't want it showing. It's just that kind of thing. I feel like talking about health, fitness, weight loss motivation is something I'd like to do more on the channel, and this has absolutely no structure. It does have reason, but it has no structure, because I just thought I'd sit down and ramble. But let me know if you guys have been through anything similar, or whether you want to make a change. I think I can give some advice from my experience about what's best to make a change, and I think the first thing ultimately that you have to do is find your reason. There's no point in doing anything in life at all without a motivation and without a goal. If I had no motivation or a goal to start this YouTube channel, my goal is to be the biggest ASMR artist in the UK. You've got to have a big long-term plan. That's my big hairy goal. My short-term goal was to create my realistic goal was to create a secondary source of income, doing a thing that I enjoyed, a side hustle, and that is very nearly what this has become. And my motivation was having an output, being able to prove to myself that I can post every day, and monetary motivation as well, which, whether it's 5 quid, whether it's 50 quid, whether it's 500 quid, just having some tangible profit from doing something that I love is a blessing. And I don't know, my point is, you need a goal and you need a motivation. So for me, my motivation when I was losing weight was to improve my self-confidence, and my goal was to lose 5 kilograms at the start, just 5 kg. I think the worst thing you can do is set a goal that's so big you run out of steam and you revert back to your old habits. That is the most common thing. You might find a temporary fix, but the real issue often is your habits. So for me, my temporary fix was I actually found exercise I enjoyed and I lost weight, but as soon as my scenario changed, aka lockdown ending, having more freedom to eat like shit, my old habits get back in, and my habits never actually changed. And habits take a long time to form. People say it takes a minimum of 90 days to form a new habit, and upwards of that to break an old one. But if you set a goal that is too outlandish, if you want to lose 30 kilograms in 3 months, likely to burn yourself out. So set smart targets, specific, measurable, achievable. I can't remember the other two. Time-based. What does R stand for in smart targets? I've shot myself up here, big time. This is why you don't record a video without a plan. It's a goal-setting framework. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So, if you want to lose weight, and you want to make it specific, say you want to lose 3 kilograms of body weight, it's measurable, because it's measured in kilograms, and you can track that progress. It's achievable, because it's not trying to do it in, it's not a ludicrous amount of weight. It's relevant because you have your motivation to improve your self-confidence, and it's time bound. Let's say you want to give yourself 2 months to lose 3 kilograms of body weight. I don't know, that's how I would go about it. And as soon as you see the difference in the mirror, that's all the motivation you need, man. For me, whenever I make a change in my diet, because I ebb and flow, sometimes I'll try and eat more to bulk up, sometimes I'll find the 2 to 3 week mark. Play it safe, the 3rd week mark. You look in the mirror, if you took a progress photo on day 1, you'll see the differences by week 3, and at that point, you're well and truly on your way. You just don't want to stop. You just want to keep chasing the dragon, keep seeing the results. You got to trust the process and hang in there until those habits have changed. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on here and waffle, to be honest with you. I could do a full breakdown of what it is that I do and probably formulate more coherent thoughts rather than just rambling on. But I do hope that some of you out there might be able to empathise with what I went through, and if you've been through anything like that and want to make a change, trust me, it will be the best decision you'll ever make. You can only thank yourself. There's nothing to lose and nothing to regret, no matter what stage of your life that you're in, no matter what excuses you think you might have. Start tomorrow, start right now. I mean, you just gotta find what works for you. I found that tracking calories works for me, and getting a fitness watch like this so I can see how many calories I'm burning. You can use websites like caloriecalculator.net. I believe that's what it is. Caloriecalculator.net. I've told you wrong. Calorie calculator. Oh, it's just what? It's just calculator.net. Never mind. It's just calculator.net. Anyways, let me show you guys this website. This is something that I used. This is gonna be a bright screen, so be warned. What we have here is caloriecalculator.net, where you put in your age. Let's say I'm 21 years old. I'm a male. My height is 6 foot 2 inches. My weight is, oh god, I don't know what it is in pounds. Kgs to ounces. I'm 84 kilograms. No, 185 pounds. I'm 185 pounds. Mad. I did not realise I was 185 pounds. So I exercise 4 to 5 times a week. Be honest. See what it says. And that, for me, is absolutely spot on. Having tried it when I want to cut weight, my fitness pal, right now, my calories are set at 2,300 every day, and I find it's a good in between where I'm eating whole foods, nothing processed, 3 meals a day, a few snacks in between, and I can have a sweet treat at the end of the day, and this is the thing. I feel like most people hear the word calories and shy away because it's been incorporated with eating disorders, and people don't get on with it because of how restrictive it can be. And by all means, do your due diligence, but I wouldn't completely disregard it as an option. I would explore it, see what works for you. And I think the real issues stem from when people over-restrict or go into counting their calories without doing proper research first, and they put themselves... I made this mistake. When I first started tracking calories, I started tracking at 1,700 a day, which is way too low, and it was awful. You feel like crap, you have no energy. And within 2 weeks of trying to do that, I lost all my motivation because I wasn't enjoying what I was eating. I went straight back to old habits. You've got to do it in a realistic manner. What will actually work for you? So test it out. Use the calorie calculator. Go for the higher bracket. You got mild weight loss, regular weight loss, extreme weight loss. I'd recommend against the extreme. Go for mild weight loss if you're new to it. See how it works. Download MyFitnessPal. It's free, and you can scan barcodes or you can type in the calories on everything that you eat. And if you decide that is for you, getting stuff like food scales, super helpful to weigh out your food so you know exactly what you're eating. But most products on the back say how many calories are in a portion or 100 grams. But don't over restrict too early. Find out what's maintainable, and you'll be surprised how easy it can be to eat the foods that you like. With that being said, if you don't want to track calories, I think a fantastic alternative is to, if you want to go down the route of a diet instead, just eat whole foods, or like 90% of your diet being whole foods. It'll just improve so many areas. You'll have better energy, you'll be eating more protein, complex carbohydrates that'll keep you fuller for longer. For example, I had potatoes, steak, asparagus, onion for tea today, and it's kept me full for like the last 4 hours. Just this, whole foods are the way to go. I could sit here and talk for ages about it, but processed foods are just going to spike your blood sugar. They're way less nutritional value, less protein. You're just not going to achieve what you want to achieve if you're constantly filling your body with junk. That sounds very health and fitness guru, but once you can make that switch, you'll realise the benefits. And then, when I say 80 to 90%, that's another thing of not over-restricting. You know, not all processed foods are evil. There's no realistic world where you can eat 100% like cavemen did thousands of years ago, and eat fruit and other stuff. No, you want to be able to enjoy yourself. Like, if your friends are going out for a meal, go out for that meal. Don't be like, no, I'm not eating it because it's not whole foods. It's finding the balance, ultimately. Like I say, I can go on about this for way longer. But yeah, do what works for you. Make it maintainable. I cannot stress that enough. Just about finding a process that works for you. And yeah, I just think that self-confidence is everything. I think that's what it held me back hugely. It affected me the most. My weight directly correlated to that. So if you're feeling that, then think about making a change. That's all I can say from my experience. Chase the dragon of a cutthroat jawline like this. I feel like it's the first time I looked in the mirror and been like, okay, we got somewhere. I also did start sleeping with mouth tape. No, I'm not like Andrew Tate. I just mean like sleeping with mouth tape helped me because I snore. I've had a bad shoulder. This shoulder has been quite bad, and I've had to sleep on my back. And if I sleep on my back, then I snore, so I keep my mouth shut. you better quality sleep anyway. I recommend mouth tape. Stop judging me. Damn. What a mess. What an absolute mess of a video this is. Just Andrew didn't have to touch it in it, but I want to do this more. This is just unfiltered me. I've been getting bogged down in video ideas, trying to post every day, thinking like, what's going to get views? What are people actually going to enjoy? Think as the viewer, what do you want to see? Describe that. This video is for me, not the viewer. This video is just for me to get things off my chest. And it's for you, of course, if you actually want to listen to any of the stuff that I'm chatting about, but don't always take advice off strangers on the internet. I'll tell you what, there is one thing that you've got in the locker right now. I know it. Good sleep habits. That is the be all and end all. Good sleep habits. If you've got that, then you've got everything. It's better than any wealth, better than any family. If you're getting a good night's sleep all the time, you're winning. You've already won. It took me so long to learn that, staying on my phone, computer till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning every night. Just good quality sleep is so valuable. It's how your body recovers. It's how you build better quality muscle mass. You lose weight quicker when you're sleeping properly. I'm not going to give you the science. You don't need me to give you the science. Every person on this planet knows that getting a good night's sleep is the best thing you can ever do. And yet, most of us never ever do it. It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous. But yeah, I think I've waffled on for long enough. I'm just going to keep saying the same things over and over again. This has been ASMR weight loss motivation, I guess. We'll see if this is the video that blasts me to stardom. I highly doubt it, but I can believe I will be the biggest ASMRist in the UK one day. I don't care if it takes 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. I'm going to make it, because I am committed to posting every single day and to making goated ASMR. Sometimes you just gotta get experimental with it, you know, just gotta get experimental with it and shout into the void some ASMR weight loss motivation, and maybe one day the void will shout back and say, here is 1 million billion subscribers and you are now the biggest ASMR artist ever. That might happen after this video, or it might not, and you guys can decide. So, thanks for hanging with me. I'll have a chat with you in the comments if anybody resonates with this. Just let me know, tell me your stories, and I'll gladly